Hey folks, all doing? Here of None here with your Mundus Minutes on May 6, 2022. ESO news, luxury merchant, and gold merchant stuff all in a few minutes. So first up in the news. If I didn't mention it last week, the May 2022 Crown Store Showcase is up on elderscrollsonline.com. I'll leave a link down below so you can take a look at it. Pts Patch Notes 8.0.2 are up. There's not a huge amount of changes to this, but I will mention a few important ones I saw at the top of my head. The Necromancer Living Death Restoring Tether was changed. Previously, it was going to give regeneration, and now it's back to giving a set amount of magicka and stamina, which should help tanks a bit more. They changed some of the itemization. Notably, the Harpooner's Waiting Kilt is now going to give it 20 seconds instead of 10 seconds to help with some sustain. And the Oaken Soul mythic, which is a new one that was going to come out, which was really going to overpower some werewolves, has also been changed. So now instead of giving a flat amount of resources, spell power and weapon damage, etc., it's now just going to give major buffs instead, which is a nerf in the way it's handled, but it can still be a buff to other werewolf builds depending on where you're using it. Question I have for that one in particular: can it be used in the no CP campaign? If it can be, that will probably be pretty useful there. If it can't, well, I'm not sure where it's going to find its place inside PvP. And lastly, last week we had an issue where they had to change the Pcna data center with some hardware. This isn't going to change anything for the performance or anything like that, but it will change how fast updates are done and should hopefully give us more stability. A lot of this stuff was back from 2012, which takes a long time to update. And if you ever work with some of the server hardware, a decade-old server hardware architecture has a lot of issues to it, including trying to maintain it, service level agreements, and all that crap. So the downtime, which was nearly for a day, was probably necessary. And I'm kind of happy they did it now before we had the chapter release, because that would have been kind of sucky to do right when we had it. So let's take a look at the luxury merchant and the golden merchant for this week. So first up, Alinor. We're getting a lot of plants from it. So we're getting Alinor maples. A couple bushes. So if you're an arborist, maybe you want to pick this up. And you also have an Alinor windmill, decorative. Actually pretty good, though the price is a bit high, 250,000. So maybe or maybe you don't want it. On the golden merchant this week, for 150k, you can get Defiler's Necklace, which basically summons a hunger, which will do a bunch of poison damage. I'd probably skip this one. You can get it pretty easily off vendors, and it also drops pretty easily out in Morrowind. You can also get Vampire's Lord Necklace, which on its 5 stage increases the bonuses and penalties for your Vampire stage depending on how much you progressed. This is another one I would probably just skip on, in all honesty. For 250k, Hagraven's Guardian Necklace, which comes out of Bloodroot Forge. Yeah. When you take damage while under 50% health, you summon Preservation Nature around you for 8 meters in 8 seconds to raise your major protection to you and your group up to 5 meters, reducing the damage taken by 10%. Effect can occur once every 30 seconds. Not great. I'd probably skip this one. You can run Bloodroot Forge to get this, and if you don't have the set, maybe you want to get it just for collection, but that's a lot of money to spend for something like that. I don't see it being useful in PvP or PvE. And then also for 250k, Necklace of the Warlock. When you cast an ability that costs resources while under 25% magicka, you restore 11,350 magicka. This can occur once every 45 seconds. This used to be way big, but you can't use it in no CP campaigns, where you'd have a little bit more, well, you'd be a little bit more concerned about your magicka regen. And in regular CP campaigns, there's just better sets out there. Maybe go with Amber Plasm instead. For 100k, you can get Slime Craw's Arm Cops or Storm Mother's E-Pulse. If you don't have either of those shoulders, maybe you want to get those for the gold, but they're pretty easy to get. Slime Craw might be useful for PvEers out there who want to build up their damage sets. It does give a good critical chance to it, which other sets don't have. So it's up to you if you want to get them. Anyway, I'm Hero done. That's Mundus Minute. See y'all in Tamriel.